So we are getting ready then for our final race of the weekend, the BRSCC Fiesta Championship racing with MRF tyres. We've had a winner piece so far for James Waite and David Nye, former BTCC racer, and it's David therefore that starts on pole position here with Waite, the points leader, alongside him. Isaac Smith, though, came from the back of the grid to finish third in race 2. Can he go and get a race victory here in race 3? Well, the lights are out. Away they go. Down to the first quarter. A good start's been made by Jamie Going. Look, from the outside of row number 2, he's challenging for the lead into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's gone through. So Going takes the lead with Nye in second position. Jamie Going made a good start in race 2, I seem to remember, earlier on today, and he's repeated the success of his launch in race 3, and he's now into the lead of the race. So it's all very tight through Druid's corner. David Nye appears to be second, with James Waite getting elbowed out a bit there. Isaac Smith's up the inside of him. They're the first side-by-side pair, but the red car of Waite will hang on to third. Then it is Isaac Smith. Then, I want to say that's Robert Stevens in 5th position, but I didn't quite catch the number of the black car. In fact, Smith is back up the inside anyway here for third and goes through. That was commitment on cold tyres. That car doesn't look pretty after its race 1 turn 1 shunt, in which 3 other drivers were also eliminated, but Isaac Smith's car clearly still going rapidly and grips well on cold tyres. I mean, maybe he's gone for a slightly higher tyre pressure setting. Will that hurt him later on in the race? Well, we'll find out, I suppose, in about 18 minutes or so, because at the end of lap number 1, it is going to be Jamie Going that leads the way. David Nye right with him in second, though. Third place is going to be Isaac Smith. 4th place for Waite, and Smith sideways there, so the rear tyre's not quite up to temperature yet, it would seem. And then it's actually Ryan Falconbridge, number 13, that's in 5th position. 6th place for Robert Stevens. 7th place for Josh Watkins. 8th for number 29, Tom Hutchins. And 9th place for Adam Durant, with the top 10 being rounded out by Sam Watkins. And up the inside there looks Josh Watkins, the number 6 car, trying to find a way ahead of Robert Stevens. And then just behind them, the 29 car of Tom Hutchins, which last time we saw it was on its side in the gravel trap at Graham Hill Bend. But as I said at the time, those accidents often look worse than they are. And actually the team were able to get the car fixed and back out there again for the 3rd race of the weekend. So Isaac Smith, true to form, looks as though he's quick enough here to catch the leading 2. In fact, forget that, he's already caught the leading 2. Jamie Going with the fastest lap of the race, which is immediately beaten by James Waite and then immediately beaten by Ryan Falconbridge. And Isaac Smith goes up the inside of David Nye, which serves him right for looking at the timing screen, doesn't it? So he's gone into second now. Nye will try and fight back, though, on the run up Halewood Hill. Smith will send it into Druids as late on the brakes as he dares, but Nye is later and goes back through into second. Good stuff there from the pair of them, but this is just meaning that the race leader, Jamie Going, can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief for a moment or two at least. Through Graham Hill Bend, Smith a bit frustrated with that, I think, but he will probably feel that he's quicker than Jamie Going, because he overtook Jamie Going in the latter stages of race number 2, so he knows that if he can get past David Nye, he will fancy his chances, I think, then, of getting past Jamie Going, the race leader, but he's got to get to Jamie Going first. That's not going to be the work of a moment, because David Nye is actually getting away from him again now slightly. James Waite and Ryan Falconbridge are still close behind as well. So the top 5 cars together as they head across the start-finish line. Further back, meanwhile, that is Josh Watkins again looking up the inside of Robert Stevens into Paddock Hill Bend, with Hutchins right behind him. Tom Hutchins, round the outside there goes James Waite, trying to get past David Nye, so it's all changed again. So somehow Isaac Smith's back into second position now, ahead of David Nye. We didn't say how that happened. It must have been at Paddock Hill Bend. So Nye down to third and nearly lost that position as well to James Waite. Sideways there for that's Josh Watkins, isn't it? The white machine getting a bit squirrely out of Graham Hill Bend, and that brings Hutchins around the outside of him, but that doesn't work, and then Hutchins leaves the door open for Sam Watkins, the other red car, still with that nose damage from race 2, which clearly doesn't seem to be affecting the car, although I suspected it might have caused radiator damage that eventually put him out of the race in race 2, but if it did, they fixed the radiator, but not the bodywork. And those two run side by side now across the start-finish line. So Isaac Smith is not being timed on our timing screen. He's sideways through Paddock there. Good save there. But I can't tell you the gap between the top 2 because his transponder isn't working. So, and there it is. He's 1.2 seconds behind the race leader is Isaac Smith. And on the previous lap wasn't actually quite as quick. 4/10 slower than Jamie Going, who sets a new fastest lap. So the gap 1.2 seconds. And Smith, with that moment at Paddock Hill Bend, is not likely to be catching the leader on this lap either. David Nye, James Waite and Ryan Falconbridge 3rd, 4th and 5th. That's that trio of cars turning through 30s. these cars that traditionally would have run in Class C, but these days the Fiesta Championship is a one-class series. You still can run some of the newer shaped Z-Tech cars, but they're already in the same class now. These Class C cars are the same cars that you can race in the Fiesta Junior Championship, and many of these drivers did race these cars in the Fiesta Junior Championship. And all they do is they basically take the speed limiter off. Junior cars are limited to 100 miles an hour, and they also put them on slick tyres. Oh, off into the gravel there has gone Stevens, I think, hasn't he? And both of the Watkins will go through, Josh and Sam. Big moment through Paddock Hill Bend then for Robert Stevens. Luckily he was carrying enough speed to get out of the gravel trap on his own, but that was a bumpy and dusty ride through Paddock Hill Bend. He may have even dislodged the front bumper on that car slightly. This third place battle continues on now through Surtees with David Nye, who, when he raced in the BTCC, raced the bigger brother of these cars. He raced a Ford Focus S2000 in the BTCC. Now, though, in the Fiesta. Now, that lead gap this time is definitely coming down. It is a new fastest lap. Well, actually, for David Nye in third, but I reckon that might change once. No, he was still quicker than. No, he wasn't as quick as Isaac Smith. So Smith gets the fastest lap, and he's only half a second now behind Jamie Going. I realise I sound like I don't know what's going on, but that's because Isaac Smith's transponder is taking a while. I think it's being manually scored. So although his lap times are being registered, the fastest lap is not being registered as purple on my timing screen. So he was quicker than David Nye that time, and he was definitely quicker than Jamie Going, the race leader. As this battle rages further back, with Josh Watkins having dropped back. He was overtaken by Sam Watkins, his brother, into Graham Hill Bend a lap ago, and now he's dropped further back as well because Robert Stevens has gone back ahead of him. So, and he's starting to slip down even further. That's Tom Hutchins, who loses a place to Zach Lucas, who's coming from the back of the grid. Zach was on the podium yesterday in race 1, but then retired from race 2. Unfortunately, that's left him some way down the order for the third and final race of the weekend. Black and white warning flag now for Ryan Falconbridge in 5th position. Side by side, that's one of what would have been the old Class D cars going through there, and that's Alistair Kellett, who was also a non-finisher, remember, in the previous race, after contact with Zach Lucas through Paddock Hill Bend. He got sideways and Lucas had nowhere to go, T-boned him, and they were both out of the race at the next corner. Brought about the safety car period. Oh, out of the window, I've just seen Isaac Smith have a huge slide at Graham Hill Bend, and held on to it, but it's cost him second place. David Nye's gone back into second position. So Nye, there you can see him, the white and red car back in front, just as Isaac Smith had caught the race leader Jamie Going. He was a bit over-exuberant through the left-hander at the bottom of the hill and ended up throwing away second place. So across the line they go then. Told this race was worth sticking around for to the end of the day. 5 cars in a train now, more or less, for the race leader, and Isaac Smith having another look at the inside of Paddock Hill Bend. The doors closed though, there's going to be contact in the middle of the corner. Both of them sideways, and David Nye somehow holds onto the car and the position. But that was very, very close quarter stuff indeed. It's held them both up now and brought James Waite, the points leader, back onto their tail. Waite had an 11-point advantage over Sam Watkins coming here this weekend, but Sam's had a weekend to forget, really. He was 7th in race 1. And he was 11th in race 2, so Watkins has dropped himself pretty much out of, well, not out of contention, but certainly a long way back. David Nye has now become James Waite's nearest rival, and Nye has beaten him in the middle race of the weekend. They were 1st and 2nd in both of the first 2 races. Waite won the first one, and then David won in race 2, but in this one, Nye is into 2nd place, and James Waite, there you can see the red car 4th in line. The top 5 coming across the start-finish line are separated by just 1.4 seconds. Isaac Smith then in that 3rd position is starting now to attack once again for 2nd as they go up the hill. There's Josh Watkins, who's settled in line now in about 9th position. As we now approach half race distance, 10 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Wide there for the 89, I think that was, of Robert Stevens, and so Josh Watkins only just in front of him though. It's a nice little battle between these two. You can see the damage on Stevens' car. It's because he was one of those drivers caught up in the first corner incident at the start of race 1 yesterday. damp conditions, there was a squeeze coming out of Paddock Hill Bend, and several cars ended up in the barriers. 4 in total, actually. He was one of them. Zach Lucas has flicked the indicator on in his excitement, and speaking of excitement, the top 3 are now pretty much nose to tail as they go through Paddock Hill Bend, and David Nye with a wide line into Paddock tries to get to the inside at Druids. They fan out, not quite 3 abreast, but certainly 3 distinct lines, and David Nye has tried to go around the outside of Jamie Going there. Coming off the corner though, Isaac Smith is going to try to take advantage and get alongside. Can't go to the outside, goes to the inside instead. He's committed to it. This could end in contact as they turn into the corner. Oh, inches between bumpers, but Nye is the quickest of the lot off the corner and goes to the outside of Jamie Going. Isaac Smith will try and join in as well. As contact between the top 2 into Surtees. This race is building nicely, but it could all end in tears if they keep on getting this close and personal. That's some of the quickest parts of the circuit. Great racing though, and I've used this term already today, but this is a pressure cooker race now where Going does not seem to have the ultimate pace of the cars immediately behind him, but if he just keeps on driving around the inside of the track, it stacks the cars behind him up into each other, and that can set off the fireworks. And speaking of fireworks, it's another late lunge from Isaac Smith. You'd think David Nye would be ready for that one by now, but Smith has got to the inside. He hasn't quite completed the manoeuvre yet, but he'll have the inside for Druids, and keep an eye on the red car of James Waite to try and buy into all of this as well. Wheel to wheel for second place through the right-hander then. Isaac Smith is surely going to run him out of road on the exit, which he does. David Nye, can he keep to the inside into Graham Hill Bend? Not quite, thinks about it, but Smith gets into the corner in front and goes back into second place now. So the gap goes out again fractionally for the time being between Going and the rest, and this is the big advantage of being the leader. You can play everybody else off against each other basically. If you've got more than one car behind you, that's sometimes a good thing because they're attacking and defending at the same time. And if you back that second place car up into the third place car, then they start to defend more than they attack because they're more concerned with hanging on to the place that they're in than they are with gaining another place. So as soon as Isaac Smith catches back up to the race leader, which I've no doubt he will within the next lap or so, Going will go on the defensive again. Jamie, a very experienced driver. Jam Sport, though, are a top squad too in Fiesta racing. Have been for some time now. They've even started to dabble in Renault Clios as well in more recent years. Their forte definitely is one-make hot hatch racing. And Jamie Going, the man behind the Jam Sport operation, is one of a few Jam Sport cars. James Waite's red car there, that's run by Jam Sport Racing. So too Ryan Falconbridge, the black car behind actually, so these two are teammates. David Nye's car, they run out to the Daniels Motorsport squad. Oh, Going is a bit slow there off the final corner, so here we go. Then it took a lap for Isaac Smith to catch the race leader again. 7.25 minutes still to go, and Isaac Smith looking to the outside again into Paddock Hill Bend. Will he sell the dummy and go to the inside? Yes, he will. Goes for the race lead, but Jamie Going saw it coming a mile off and moves over to cover. That's definitely becoming Isaac Smith's favourite place to try and overtake, though. And he's actually got a bit of breathing room behind him now to David Nye, who suddenly seems to have lost a bit of pace. Smith, though, is being warned for exceeding track limits. Black and white warning flag going out for car 21 now, the man in second place. Still these 5 cars together, and Sam Watkins is catching them as well in 6th. So Sam Watkins, the red car, we might catch a glimpse of him in the background. Second of the red cars in the queue. Well, not quite in the queue, but he's catching this queue. And Sam Watkins is there. You caught a glimpse of him then in the background. Is about to join in the party, I think, at the front end of the field. So a lap of defensive driving for Going has now backed up Isaac Smith sufficiently that he's under pressure from David Nye, who might have just got underneath him coming through clearways. Yes, he has. So David Nye and Isaac Smith run wheel to wheel and door to door, quite literally, I think, as they came across the start-finish line. Smith just is able to get over to the inside to defend, but Nye thinks about going up the inside anyway at Paddock Hill Bend. He's going through. This is exactly how he lost the second place to Isaac Smith a few laps ago. He tries to recreate the manoeuvre, but he's slow off the corner, and James Waite gets alongside him instead. Now, this is not good news for David Nye. He needs to try and keep Waite at bay. They bump into each other slightly, turning into Druids. How does that one sort itself out? Nye still third, Waite still fourth. Falconbridge can't take advantage. Oh, and then Falconbridge, I thought that was missed gear at first, but no, he's slowed down. Ryan Falconbridge then. That's one of the Jam Sport cars out of the equation, and unfortunately, the black machine is pulling off directly opposite me, so oh, what frustration for the number 13 machine. Ryan Falconbridge out of the race. Fairly experienced Fiesta driver these days is Ryan Falconbridge, but I don't think he was particularly happy with whatever happened there, and quite rightly so, because he'd had a really good race going and has had to pull off the road. I can see directly in front of me. He's sort of looking down into the bottom part of the cockpit. I don't know what the issue might be there, but Falconbridge out of the race then, and that now means, well, it's still a five-way fight for the lead though, because Sam Watkins, true to my promise, has now joined them at the front, and keep an eye on Zach Lucas, who's just set the fastest lap of the race into 7th place now, just behind Alistair Kellett. There, the two cars there going through the bottom of the hill. Don't think Lucas can catch the leaders, although you never know if they keep on holding each other up like this, and he can clear Kellett quickly. Could be on. Less than 5 minutes to go now. We're into the final quarter of the race, and it's likely that one of these 5 drivers will win the race. And here comes Isaac Smith to the inside, down to Surtees' corner. Carried such good momentum off the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. He's got 2 wheels on the grass. They almost make contact, and Jamie Going still hangs on. Oh, there is contact though. Smith gets punted by David Nye, who was trying to find a gap on the inside, and James Waite takes advantage, goes on the inside of Nye into clearways, and will surely complete the manoeuvre on the exit of the turn. That was a perfect example of what I was saying. If Jamie Going just keeps on backing them all into each other, they'll run into each other and hold each other up and hopefully keep the pressure off of the race leader. Brilliant racing. Oh, there's more contact between these two cars going into Paddock Hill Bend. James Waite knows that he needs to try and maintain this points advantage over David Nye, but Nye will be equally determined to try and close in on the points leader, and the only way he will do that, of course, is if he beats him in this race. Through Druids, wheel to wheel through the middle part of the corner. Oh, look at how close they are. Proper wing mirror to wing mirror stuff, but David Nye has the inside line for Graham Hill Bend, and here comes Watkins up the inside of James Waite as well. Oh, James Waite can't afford any contact here. If he gets spun off the road, that will have a disastrous effect on his championship standing. And look at what it's done now to the top two. They've really pulled away. There is Ryan Falconbridge out of the car, smile on his face, but I don't think that's a particularly happy Ryan Falconbridge. Nor would you be, really, if you were in his position, because he's missing out on all of the fun now. He should have been a part of this race, he's thinking, and indeed he was for the bulk of the race, but out of the race, unfortunately, about 2/3 of the way through with a mechanical problem. Now, Isaac Smith closing on Jamie Going. Don't think he was able to get up the inside there into Paddock Hill Bend, but he's now running out of time. He needs to get a move on if he wants to win this, and now is his best opportunity by far in this race to get through, because he's under absolutely no pressure, and actually he has over 1.6 seconds in hand over David Nye in third, who's got still James Waite and Sam Watkins breathing down his neck. So this could be when Isaac Smith really goes for it, but he's sort of been really going for it since the drop of the green flag. Isaac Smith, 7th place in the championship, was about 48 points off the championship lead coming into this weekend, and then had that non-finish in race 1. Third in race 2, and maybe a race win could still be possible in race 3. And the way this championship's been going, you wouldn't bet against anything really. Back in the slipstream again across the start-finish line. 2 minutes and 20 seconds will be left on the clock as they see the end of lap number 18. 5-second penalty though for Isaac Smith. Oh, Isaac Smith, the man in second place, has been given a 5-second track limits penalty, and he's sideways again through Paddock Hill Bend, which won't help. So he's attacking for the race lead, but it will matter little because the 5-second penalty will put him off the podium. It may even, by the end of the race, put him outside of the top 5, and that's a great shame for Isaac, but also for us really, because this was a sensational battle, and now, in a way, if Jamie Going is aware of this penalty, he doesn't particularly need to defend too heavily, but he is defending heavily. Goes to the inside down towards Surtees, so Isaac Smith goes around the outside of him, but Jamie Going just slides across the nose of the second place car. They're still side by side though, almost into clearways. And Isaac Smith, even if he's aware of the penalty, is not going to back down now, because penalties can always be turned over after the race. You never know what might happen. So it's worth going for, and then you can argue the toss in the steward's room afterwards. Plus, Isaac, relatively young racer. Don't think he knows the meaning of the words back off, but he's overdone it this time through Paddock Hill Bend, and this could be David Nye's chance to get back up the inside. James Waite goes to the outside. 3 of them descend upon Druids as one. There's going to be contact surely, and it's David Nye. I think they might lose out here, because around the outside goes James Waite, and James Waite with a classy move there read the situation nicely and picks up third position. Crucially though, gets himself ahead of David Nye, and with Sam Watkins running behind him as well, that means he's now ahead of his 2 nearest championship rivals, and Ryan Falconbridge, 4th in the points, is out of the race. So that was a timely move. Here comes Sam Watkins though, just trying to get up the inside of David Nye through clearways. David in turn though, probably didn't even know that attack was coming, because he was focusing on getting up the inside of James Waite, which he's done I think, going through Clark Curve. not convinced James Waite's car is handling quite as he'd like it, because he's not got the outright speed in this one that we saw earlier on in the weekend. So as the leaders go on to the final lap of the race, the big change is the one for third again. David Nye back into third position again, as Isaac Smith tries one last time to go to the outside into Druid's corner, but with this 5-second penalty hanging over his head, it's not going to help him out all that much. David Nye back defending there from James Waite, I think, as they went through Druids. And there was a bit of contact on the way in, and Waite might try and fight back again into Graham Hill Bend. Out of Graham Hill go the leading two, though, and Isaac Smith might have just found a gap on the inside. He's on the grass, though, hits the brakes, and that will mean that he's really slow into Surtees. Can David Nye take advantage? He doesn't really need to, because he's going to inherit this second place anyway. And in fact, he's got James Waite back up the inside. James Waite in this ding-dong battle between the top two in the championship, and it's going to run right down to the flag. Jamie Going is going to come through to take the race victory. Isaac Smith will be second on the road, but with a 5-second penalty, that will mean that the side-by-side battle behind between the championship contenders is essentially for second place, and it's too close to call at the line. The timing screen says that David Nye beat James Waite by in the end, actually, just over 1/10 of a second, it says. So it will be Nye in second, Waite in third, Sam Watkins will be fourth, and I reckon Alistair Kellett might be fifth position, with Isaac Smith probably dropping down into sixth with that 5-second time penalty. But what a great end to the day that was. The top 5 cars covered by less than 3 seconds. Top 6 cars, in fact, by less than 3 seconds. The top 5 by less than 2 seconds. And here is confirmation of the result then. Jamie Going with the win. David Nye second. James Waite is third. Sam Watkins fourth. Alistair Kellett fifth. Isaac Smith, Josh Watkins, Tom Hutchins, Rob Stevens and Adam Durant round out the top 10. Outside the top 10 then we had Zach Lucas in 11th. Marco Ricci, I think, is still going. He's not quite reached the checkered flag yet. Now he does, so he is classified in 12th. Ryan Falconbridge and John Cooper, though, were out. In fact, John Cooper may not have even taken the start. Well, it's been a fantastic day of racing here at Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch Indy Circuit always is. There's a reason it's one of my favourites and most people's favourites, really, in UK motorsport, because it does, week in, week out, produce racing like that. And if you enjoyed that, then in particular if you enjoyed any Ford-powered racing this weekend, then you're in luck, because the Brands Hatch Formula Ford Festival on the 26th and 27th of October will have all things Ford related, with the, of course, Formula Ford Festival itself, but also support from the Fiesta Juniors and the Fiesta Seniors that we just saw racing then, and that will be the title decider for both of those championships too. But that's always one of the real end-of-season highlights here at Brands Hatch, which these days has a very, very busy schedule, with the arrival of, over the last few years, the Blancpain GT Sprint Championship, DTM, of course, making a very, very popular return to Brands Hatch last year on the Majestic Grand Prix circuit, and they're back again in August this year. Brands Hatch becoming very much the home of British motor racing, really, and it's a popular circuit amongst the drivers who love the undulations and the unique challenge of the very tight Indy circuit, but then the very high-speed blast through the woods on the Grand Prix circuit, which was not in use this weekend, but is for many of the headline events throughout the year. And indeed, next week, the BRSCC will be helping to organise the penultimate round of the British GT Championship, in which the full Grand Prix circuit will be in use in all of its majesty. The drivers love it, the spectators love it, we love it, because the racing on either layout is usually really entertaining. And that BRSCC Fiesta Championship with MRF tyres race absolutely demonstrated just what the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit is capable of producing. Drivers then are down into the pit lane. They will shortly be making their way, hopefully, down to the podium, and that is your final race of the day. Don't forget, though, that we will have one more TCR UK round this season, and it will be at Donington Park, our second visit of the season to Donington Park, on the 19th of October, 19th of October. So we've got a month and a bit to wait before our deciding TCR UK round. Don't miss it, because it's going to be spectacular. Right, for the final time this weekend, let's head down to the pit lane with our podium finishers and Bryn Lucas.
Well, what a race that was, wasn't it? I've never seen so many cars going around a circuit with 3 wheels and 1 wheel cocked up in the air. But here we go. Let's speak to our drivers, see how they got on. That was, from the outside looking in, one heck of a race.
Yeah, it was quite hectic. I didn't expect to drop back so quickly, I was really struggling with tyres, but it was a great race at the end, all squabbling about, so I'm lucky to get third, really.
What are these Fiestas like to drive?
They're not necessarily the most powerful machines in the world, but they handle great, that's what it's all about. It's close racing, and that's what everyone loves.
It was absolutely fantastic. Well done to you.
Thank you.
So that was our third place. Let's see if we can find our second place driver right now. He's actually deep in discussions. Let's speak to once again David, who came second this time round. So not quite as good as last time out, but not too bad at all.
That was fast and furious, that was, wasn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, I went round quite a few corners side by side with a couple of them. Jamie Going was playing games at the front round Druids and backing them all up and doing all sorts of shenanigans. And round Surtees, what do? You just try and find your way through. And yeah, then I see Isaac got a 5-second penalty, so just be a bit careful.
It was such an interesting race to watch from the outside. It was frantic, frenetic. It was crazy. I mean, we're just saying that so many 3-wheel bits of action, 1 wheel off. It didn't matter which wheel. There was always a wheel off the ground.
Yeah, no, it was, as I say, fast and furious. Yeah, it's a good race.
So you're happy with your day? I'm looking at this first and second. You must be mildly pleased.
Yeah, I was pleased when the 5-second penalty board came out. I thought, yeah, that's okay. Spence along. No, he was fair enough. It's good enough. Yeah, a lot of side by side. Tried to put me in a pit wall and off the circuit, so that's okay.
There you go. But you got yourself a nice podium, another nice podium.
Another one, thank you.
Well done, David. Let's speak to our race winner, actually, Jamie, who we haven't spoken to yet today because he came 4th in race 1, but here he is right now. Jamie, that was, from the outside looking in, a brilliant race.
It was amazing. Yeah, I've not had a win yet this year, so it's been a bit hard, but yeah, that makes up for all the hard graft so far this year. It was brilliant, I got a great start. I'm usually pretty good at starts. I've been struggling a little bit lately, managed to get away and get a pretty much decent gap at the start. So as it settled down, then the others behind were pushing, and I could see it was all going on, and every now and then David was behind me, then Isaac was behind me, and I just had to control the race and get them involved, so it slowed them up. But I've been struggling with the car a little bit this weekend. I've got to say thanks to Andy, because whatever he'd done then, it's a different car. I'll race that all the time. It gave me so much more confidence, so it's so much quicker. Yeah, it's brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
Now, there's one slower car out on track, significantly slower, and I reckon one more lap and you'd have been right on him, so it ended just at the right time.
Yeah, it did. You've always got to read back markers, you've got to think ahead. It can kill your race, and you can also use it to your advantage by putting him in the right place and making your move, so that gets tied up with the people behind. So it's always, it happens here at Brands because it's so short, but you just got to think about it, think ahead and make the most of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Look, enjoy this. Well done.
Thank you.
Good stuff. There you go, our race winner, Jamie. What a way to end here at Brands Hatch. It is, it's been dry all day. It's been warm for the majority of the day as well. So the continental heat dome is continuing to cause havoc upon the UK, and hopefully you've enjoyed the action that the weather and the cars and drivers have brought to you, and we'll hopefully see you back here next time when we're going to be going in October to Donington for the final rounds of the TCT and TCR UK. We'll see you there.